Whoa, 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 ho, ho, ho. What is up, WACC people? Hey, everybody. Hope everything is amazing for you all as always. I am your host, the Honorable OCT Octavius Haye, and this is the WACCast podcast. Before we get into it today, if you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I'm dropping new content on the channel. And if you listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, please make sure to follow so you get notified every time I'm dropping a new episode. That being said, let's talk WACC to him. So, T-Pain was talking with Akademiks, and they was both drinking. You know, we got Henny-demics, you know. So you already know it's going to be some stuff to talk about whenever that happens. And then T-Pain on there, fearless talking. So they start breaking down, you know, Chris Brown and his whole situation with him being upset, feeling like he not getting any love or support for his album, but he always in the news for negative stuff. And T-Pain's take on it was that Chris Brown had a princess complex, that he had always been loved and told he was so pretty, or you know, it was a pretty complex, princess complex, something like that. But one of those two. But pretty much basically it was he been loved and told he was so pretty and never really had to work or not work hard, but you know, he never was like the numbers was looking bad, it was always looking good no matter what. So that's what he's used to, and now he's not seeing it like that this time with his album. He's not seeing those same numbers, that he feels like it's something wrong with the people and maybe not something wrong with him, and maybe he need to change it up. And my take on that is, to some degree, I agree with T-Pain. I 100% believe that Chris Brown is spoiled to a degree, and he even said it's not just spoiled, it's spoiled and being called pretty and being complimented and not really having to, you know, do anything to get that compliment. Just do what you do. And Chris has been doing what he's doing. But I agree with T-Pain because I don't know what Chris Brown's talking about. He gets praised all the time. He gets bigged up all the time. He gets complimented all the time. Everybody talks about how Chris Brown is so great, how so talented. When something bad happens, yes, people talk about it, but people talk about it when something bad happens to anybody. It's just the nature. Like, it's, oh my God, something, you know, some controversy happened, or, you know, something wild happened. You know, something negative is always going to attract people because you're like, well, what happened? How did it happen? Why did it happen? It's a story. It draws people in, but that doesn't mean that you don't get the same love or even more love and more often loved from your talent and your positives. It's just that, yeah, you're a celebrity, so your negatives are going to be under a microscope, just like your positives are. And so you got to take that good with that bad. I don't think that if Chris Brown's numbers aren't as good, it's because people just want to see his downfall. Maybe because you made people tired of these long-ass albums. I hate long albums. I've always hated long albums. That's why Pusha T is like one of my favorites, because he know he got to get in there, do what he got to do, and get out. Don't overstay your welcome. That was one of my biggest problems with Kendrick's last album, which I loved, but come on, man. I start towards the end, I was like, this is kind of running a little long, man. Like, I think you kind of got the message out. But with Chris, I know it's more about just different songs. You know, he's an R&B guy. He just likes to make good songs. So you can say, oh, it's just a combination of different songs, the music. But he's not being, in my opinion, he's not being like torn apart. It's just the normal stuff with celebrities. And Chris does do a lot of stuff. So when he says, oh, you only focus on the negative, well, you doing negative. So maybe you should stop getting yourself in some situations like that. I don't know. But what really bad have we been focusing on with Chris? There was a thing about the girl making accusations, I think, and then that went nowhere, and that was nothing. But it's a story to talk about, and people reacted to it because you are Chris Brown, because you are so talented that people care about you. When something's going on, they're like, oh shoot, what happened with this? So I just think you have to take the good with the bad. It's just part of the business. When you are blessed to use your talents to make money and make millions and tour the world and do all this stuff, there's going to come negativity with it. I think now, like T-Pain said, it's time for you to look inward and see, what can you do to change? Maybe what can you do to get those same numbers that you wanted, that you thought that you deserved? and not feel so entitled to them. Not feel so entitled to people viewing your stuff, but remember that you're selling a product, which is your music, and you have to see what the market wants. And if the market's not reacting the same way, well, then maybe it's time for you to make a change or engage with the market and see what it is that they want from you. And not just throw a temper tantrum about how nobody likes me, nobody's listening to my music. Because you're getting a lot of people listening to your music. You're going to go on tour, you're going to sell out arenas and all that stuff, or stadiums, whatever you do, and you're going to make a lot of money, man. So there's no reason to throw a temper tantrum. Like I said, just remember that you're a product, you're a brand, you're selling yourself, you're selling your music, and, you know, engage with the audience. So Mario's done it. He got all this praise after whooping Omarion on Versus, and now y'all mad at him because he's dropping a song with Tory Lanez. Gee, my man couldn't catch the break. I guess he didn't read the room, as somebody said. Now, I'm not surprised that people are angry. People get angry about everything, but it's I don't know. It's just weird that people are so upset at Tory Lanez when he is stating he didn't do it. But it's like, you got to take Meg's word over his. Well, why isn't his word worth anything? Why can't he say, hey, I didn't do that, and let's wait for the court to decide? Where, you know, Meg and Tory are in court right now, and that's going to be resolved at some point. I don't know when, but that's being handled, you know. But Tory Lanez maintains his innocence. And you hear see all these people typing all this outrage at Mario for wanting to make a record with Tory. First of all, Tory is like a phenomenal artist. He's super talented. And I definitely understand Mario wanting to work with Tory. I think they've worked together before, if I'm not mistaken. But it surprises me. It kills me that people, well, not surprising, but kills me that people are this upset. And they're like talking about, oh, he tripping, what's wrong with you, support black women. And it's like, well, first of all, we don't even know that Tory is guilty. He's innocent till proven guilty, and he hasn't been proven guilty. If anything, the evidence presented has kind of brought his guilt into question even more, you know, and kind of supports his narrative that he did not shoot Meg. But that doesn't matter, because I guess she got to speak first, and she's been able to speak. He can't speak, but she can go on any interview and cry and give her testimony. And Tory, his freedom is in jeopardy if he says anything, so he has to just be quiet. I don't think that's right. And I don't like that, you know, essentially now Mario's going to be bullied, and you're going to hate on Mario because he's just an artist who wants to make a record with somebody who, again, has not been found guilty of any crime. The charges that you guys are accusing him of, he has not been found guilty of as of right now. I think it's ridiculous. And now it's like, well, what's Mario going to do? Is he going to take Tory Lanez off the record? He's already announced it. Is he going to push forward? And if he pushes forward, is it going to affect his career, his comeback? Is it going to affect the song and making money off of it? Will he get radio play? I know that Tory Lanez, you know, he's not really being allowed on the playlist, and he's still kind of blackballed, even though not completely. He still works with some artists, but overall, he's pretty much blackballed. His own stuff doesn't get the same attention that other songs he does for other people does. But, you know, like I said, Tory Lanez is still somewhat blackballed, so will this hurt Mario? And is it in his best interest at this point, because of the outrage, even though I don't think it's fair when you're talking about business? Sometimes you have to, you know, switch it up. Even if you don't think something is right for your paper, for your money, you might have to switch it up. And is that something that Mario is now looking at and thinking about? Is that something that his team is maybe pressuring him into doing? You know, I don't know. I think that he just wanted to get on something with somebody hot. And even though Tory is blackballed, he's still like a hot artist. He still gets talked about. He just doesn't get as much play. Is that what he was thinking? I don't know. But, you know, to go from those highs and now feeling this pressure, these lows, I know it's got to mess with Mario. And is he questioning, like, why did I do this? I should have never worked with this dude. I should have never tried to make this song with him. Unfortunately, that's how it goes when you're blackballed. Even if somebody likes you and wants to work with you, they feel the pressure to not. And they may not have no issue with you, but, you know, they're trying to make money off this music thing. So, you know, they don't want the drama, you know, to overshadow the music, the art, to They want people at the end of the day to be listening to these songs and streaming it and coming to their shows. They don't want to be canceled just from association. So I understand Mario's point of view. I just think it's wild and it's stupid that this is what's happening. And, instead of just focusing on, hey, he about to give us some good music, we're focusing on somebody who's not even found guilty of a crime. So you've already convicted him. You don't know what the evidence is. All we know is what we've been told and shown, and that definitely doesn't incriminate him. So I don't know why people are just quick to want to have an issue or quick to come to a conclusion just because a woman said it. And that's what I don't like. I don't believe in silencing women, but I do believe in giving people their due process and giving them their day in court and let them argue their case. And if they're disputing claims against them, then, let's see what happens. Don't just say, oh, this person did this. You don't know that. You know nothing. None of us were there that night. None of us know anything. I think the sooner people, start realizing that, the better it'd be for, everything. And then if he's convicted, then you go ahead and shun him, and then you tell people they can't work with him. But right now, it's his word against her word. That's it. And unfortunately for Mario, he made the decision to make a song with this guy, with Tory Lanez, during his comeback. And I just hope it doesn't hurt him, because I like Mario, and I'm happy that people are giving him, his flowers right now and putting respect on his name, because I've been known what the talent was, and now, I know a lot of people have too. But now they see exactly how talented it is. Like I said, I pick winners, and Mario's my guy. Tory's my guy too. So I just hope the song is dope. Elon Musk decided not to purchase Twitter. Now, my question is, who is that a surprise to? When Elon Musk came out and said that he wanted to purchase Twitter, I took it as what it was. A guy who's known for just wanting some attention, who says things, it doesn't follow through. Elon Musk likes to say I think on the website, he founded Tesla. He didn't. His SpaceX program, which everybody brags about he was able to do, that was funded by taxpayers. We did that. Government subsidies, which Elon Musk later said the government shouldn't do for other companies, even though he was a beneficiary of that. So that's where that came from. I think he said he was going to end world hunger for like $6 billion. All he needed was a plan. And when they sent him a plan, he didn't say anything. I think he even said he was sending like defibrillators or something or whatever, like medical tech. He sent so much out during the pandemic, during the height of it, and he didn't. So Elon Musk just likes to say things, and he's got his fan base, but I'm really shocked that some people acting like they were really surprised. Like, oh my God, I can't believe Elon Musk isn't going to buy Twitter. It's like, yeah, he was never. It was always cap. It was always talk. It was funny to see how many people were getting upset, whether you're on the right, you were happy on the right, and they were like, oh yeah, now everything's going to be better and we're not going to be censored. On the left, people are like, oh, I'm quitting Twitter. It's like, first of all, either way, regardless of what he did, it wasn't really going to be much he could change. Like, you can't threaten people, and they're probably going to stop letting people curse people out. It's like the My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell, when he did his social media platform, when he created his own social media thing, and he ended up starting to censor people, because you can't just be cursing people out and doing all that stuff. So there are rules, but regardless, let's just stick to him not purchasing Twitter anymore. Again, no surprise at all. The only thing I'm surprised about is how far he let it go to where he actually signed a contract. And that makes me think like he wasn't thinking clearly, because now he's saying, oh, I wasn't aware of how many bots there were, and there's just too many bots, so I'm going to have to pull out. But you didn't have that in the contract. You didn't do any research into Twitter. You didn't look at their books before you made this huge purchase. But, the writing was on the wall when he declared he was going to purchase it, sign a contract, and Tesla stock started plummeting because he was spending so much money on something that really wasn't worth it. And once that happened, he realized, oh man, I gotta back out. How can I find a way to back out? Bots. Come on. I know that there are bots, and I'm not half the businessman that he's supposed to be. But he's over here talking about bots. No, it was a scapegoat. It was a way to get out of having to go through with the deal. Only problem is he had an agreement to make the purchase. So now, most likely, Elon Musk is going to be sued by Twitter, and he's going to have to pay them at least like $1 billion. So So this is a $1 billion mistake by him, which, he's got billions to spare, so it's not really gonna hurt him, but it's like this was so unnecessary for a moment of clout. And that's all this gave you, was like a moment of clout. And then you have all these people, oh, come on, Elon, please hurry up and purchase Twitter. It's like, he's not purchasing Twitter. He's getting out of it. This has already been established. Like, even before it was officially announced, he is already starting to back out of the deal and talk to talk his way out of it and all of that stuff. So to anybody that's surprised, whether you're on the right or the left, all this theatrics you do, whether you hate him or you love him, it's feeding into what he wants, which is people talking about him and him trending and I guess congratulations to him. Like I said, $1 billion is probably chump change to him. It's just what he doesn't even actually he doesn't even actually technically have that. It's like somebody type in, okay, here's $1 billion to you. Now you got $1 billion extra that you can. It's digital money. It's essentially it's make believe money. It's what you want it to be. So Elon Musk is gonna be fine. Twitter is gonna be fine. The right's gonna be fine, and the left's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be exactly what it was. It was a stupid business move for him to sign that contract, and that's probably the only thing I could take out of this. That's like, maybe Elon Musk isn't as smart as we think. And I'm hoping maybe some people start looking at that, because, bro, why would you do that? Why would you sign an agreement to purchase and not even really investigate everything? And now you're like surprised about the number of bots? That's really weird, my guy. So I don't know, but that's what it is. Elon Musk not purchasing Twitter, and is not as good a businessman as we thought. Well, that's the show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in and getting that whack wisdom. Hope you return next week to get some more. Again, if you haven't already, please make sure to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if you're listening on any other platform where we have the podcast, follow so you get notified every time we drop new content. With that being said, this is the WACCast podcast, and I am whacking off.
It's the WACCast podcast, yeah.
Talk whack to me, talk whack to me,
yeah.
Talk whack to me, talk whack
it's
to me.
It's the WACCast podcast, yeah.
Talk whack to me, talk whack to me,
yeah.
Talk whack to me, talk whack to me.